Do you know what's happening with the influenza situation in Italy? Let's dive right in. At the tail end of 2023, the flu situation in Italy is showing a marginal decrease. The incidence of influenza-like syndromes, or ILI, is at about 17.46 cases per thousand. This is slightly down from the previous week's 17.71. Despite this decrease, the situation remains high intensity, with the estimated cases hovering around 1 million. This data is diligently tracked by the Istituto Superiore di Sanità, a significant health institute in Italy. They publish a report called Influnet every week on Friday, providing an up-to-date snapshot of the flu situation in the country. Now you might be wondering, how does this season's flu incidence compare to previous years? To make sense of this, we need to delve into some graphs based on ISS data. These graphs are a visual representation of the incidence of influenza syndromes in Italy from the flu season of 2009 and 10, right up to the present season of 2023 and 24. Now, the first thing that jumps out from these graphs is the striking increase in flu cases in the current season. If we look at the trend line, we can see that the incidence has been relatively stable over the past decade and a half, with some seasonal fluctuations, of course. However, this season, the line takes a sharp upward turn, indicating a significant increase in cases. But here's where it gets even more interesting. If we compare this season with the years of the pandemic, the difference is stark. You see, during the pandemic years, there was a noticeable dip in flu cases. This was likely due to the widespread use of masks and social distancing measures, which inadvertently also protected people from the flu. But this season, not only has the flu come back with a vengeance, it's actually exceeding the incidence of the pre-pandemic years. Now let's take a closer look at the current season. The peak, which represents the highest number of cases, is clearly higher than any of the peaks in the previous seasons. This means that at its worst, the flu has affected more people this season than it did in any of the past seasons. And it's not just the peak. The entire curve for this season is shifted upwards, indicating that the flu has been consistently affecting more people throughout the season, not just at its peak. So, what does all this mean? Well, it means that the current flu situation in Italy is severe. It's not just a seasonal increase, it's a significant surge that's affecting a large portion of the population. This data clearly shows the severity of the current influenza situation in Italy. So, what does all this data mean for Italy's influenza situation? Well, let's break it down. The 52nd week of 2023 saw the incidence of influenza-like syndromes, or ILI, slightly decreasing in Italy. However, with 17.46 cases per thousand individuals, it still falls within the high-intensity range. To put that into perspective, the Istituto Superiore di Sanità, Italy's health institute, estimated around 1 million cases during that week alone. This highlights the immense impact the flu is having on Italy, with the 2023 to 2024 season surpassing all previous ones at its peak. The difference becomes even more pronounced when we compare it with the pandemic years. And remember, these findings are based on the Influnet report, which is published every Friday by the ISS. So, what's the takeaway here? The influenza situation in Italy is intense, and vigilance is crucial. Stay informed and stay healthy. That's a wrap on the current influenza situation in Italy.